faves over the last couple, call it decade or so, kind of widening out some areas and some runoff. But turn number 1, a great passing opportunity, leads you into a slow technical sector number 1. And then comes my favorite part of the racetrack, the uphill S's, which feeds you all the way down into Oak Tree. You see roller coaster down there, the start of turn number 14. That's your next best passing opportunity on this racetrack.
And as we see them head around on the pace lap, that gives us a chance to go through your starting order this morning. And it sees Jens Hansen once again on the pole with Erica Hoffman this time starting next to him. It's going to be Lonnie Unser once again beginning from P3. And Dan Ammon, our pole sitter for the Cayman Masters category, starting from 4th. After that, Anna Checki, all the way from P5 overall, will be flanked by Spencer Proper, another of our Pro-Ams. Then in the next row, you've got Tom Kopczynski starting from P7. Then it'll be Bill Fennick, a little bit far back for him. He'll be starting from P8. Bill Pelichewski along with him, and Greg Checki rounding out our top 10. Then you get to the next row, which sees Dominique Lecoq starting from 11th. You've got Joe Rizzo next to him. And Elaine Scalzo all the way back in 13th position. That'll be fun to watch as Reggie Tartaglione will start from 14th. And then the last of our field is Joseph Petkis with our 15 cars out on the track. It is very overcast this morning, but like I said, Joey, for a lot of the drivers, that is a welcome change.
100%. It has been so hot and humid here in Virginia this past week. Had lots of, call it tropical storms roll through recently, lots of humidity in the air. So having a nice overcast morning, I think, was a very welcome sight for all of these drivers, and probably not even the drivers, everybody here at VIR as well. So that way they're not sweating all that much. But here we are at the top of roller coaster. You see the pace car already peeling away. We're about to get this thing underway.
Already cars getting nice and lined up out of roller coaster into hog pen. Jens Hansen in control. Last time he did not start from the pole, so will he be able to maybe make it a little bit of an easier runaway for himself at the start, or is he going to once again have to fight to get back up to the lead after turn 1? Drivers waiting patiently for the call from the flag stand as the pace car is officially in pit lane now. And if a couple drivers may be popping out a little bit towards the back, they got to watch out that they don't get a penalty. And now they start to accelerate as they fly towards turn 1. Green flag is out for race number 2 here at VIR. It's a very good start for Jens Hansen. Meanwhile, it looks like Lonnie Unser is going to try and steal that second place away. Deep on the brakes for Erica Hoffman, trying to make up for a poor showing yesterday, but it looks like she's not able to hold back Lonnie Unser.
Looks like Lonnie was able to take the shortest distance between turns 1 and 3 here and snag that second place. Anna Checki down to the inside of Erica Hoffman, thinks twice about it, kind of pulls out of that move. That would have been a little bit aggressive, but now we feed down into turn number 5. Look at how busy it is further back in the pack, almost 3 wide through turn 4.
I think that was Scalzo making moves while he can. He does not want to lose time to the leaders. He knows he missed out on a win yesterday. He's trying to make up for that, but he'll have to catch up to Dan Ammon a long way up the field. Meanwhile, Anna Checki looks like she's not happy sitting this far back. She started on the pole yesterday. She wants to get back there.
Absolutely. She is in a hurry to get by Erica Hoffman, but remember, Erica had a tremendous performance in the first handful of laps yesterday. Kind of had a little bit of a mistake in the middle of the race, so this is definitely redemption. There's a big lunge from Anna Checki down the inside of Oak Tree. Let's see about the drag race coming off.
Looks like it was a slightly better exit for Checki. She is ahead and she's starting to pull away, but now the slipstream goes back to Hoffman. Not often you actually see moves work going through Oak Tree, so that was ambitious.
Usually you do see that second car at least try to do that over-under, at least get a good launch out of that corner, but Anna Checki was able to roll onto the throttle and defend from Erica Hoffman down the straightaway, so I think that she's happy to be in front of the 21, and you already see her kind of skating off down the road.
Not wasting time at all, but she's got a little ground to make up. Hansen and Unser have managed to pull away a little bit on this first lap. It's not a massive gap, but it will require a bit of use of those tires, no doubt. As we complete lap 1, Hansen leads, Unser second, Checki in third. Meanwhile, in the Masters, Dan Ammon, your leader there, Kopczynski and Finnick finishing out your podium.
And that first lap from Jens Hansen was hauling the mail. A 57 from starting at call it pace car speed on the front straightaway. These cars, I think the fastest we've seen them do is about a 53, maybe a 54 this weekend. So he's already up and on it.
I'm sure without the sun beating down on the track, that's also helping the grip out there and finding a bit better pace. We'll see what it looks like now that they've got a full lap up to speed as we ride on board with Lonnie Unser. About half a second back across the last timing line, but it does look like that car is getting smaller in the windscreen.
This is my favorite section of the racetrack. Look at this, fifth gear, 140 miles an hour, just a little bit of a breathe on the brakes to set the nose up there at the top of the hill. Turn number 9, and the same thing right here for turn number 10. Some of the highest speed corners in all of North America are here at VIR.
Then you whoa it up down into Oak Tree. Yeah, look at the distance between the two of them. Hansen is not wasting time now that he's started from the front. He's trying to pull away as best he can. Big thing is, we've seen a couple mistakes from him this weekend, but looks like maybe he's learned from that and is putting that behind him quickly. Meanwhile, Anichecki is showing a few tenths behind Lonnie Unser. Those two had a great battle yesterday as well.
They really did. They were kind of duking it out for the entirety of the race as we focus on this number 4 car going through what is hog pen here at VIR, keeping the car pretty shallow on the right-hand side there. And I remember from watching some of the onboards yesterday, not so much this car, but some of the other cars had a little bit of understeer coming out onto this front straightaway. So I think that Lonnie's just taking care of her equipment right now.
On board with our Masters leader, Dan Ammon. Gap between himself and Kopczynski, just about a second, so he's out of arm's reach, at least for the time being. Down into turn 1, double apex right-hander. This one trying to get the launch as you lead up towards NASCAR Bend, and you can see these cars having to really lean as they accelerate towards this corner.
This has been a fantastic weekend for this number 91. Got the Cayman Masters win yesterday, started from the Masters pole today, still leads it in front of Kopczynski. Although he is not very far back. You see him call it 10 car lengths back, about 3/4 of a second. So he's definitely keeping Dan honest. But this is important learning opportunity. You're leading the class. This is what it feels like. This is what you have to do in order to manage these wins.
Yeah, Tom got his 3rd podium of the season yesterday, but he has not stood on the top step yet. This is a great opportunity for him if he can keep the pressure on Dan Ammon. I'm honestly impressed with the way that Dan has been performing in the race, because when I went out and watched him during the practice sessions, the car looked very loose. He looked uncertain, and yet I guess whatever was plaguing him, he got sorted because it's been almost flawless in the races.
Evidently, the team has got that thing tuned up. I know his driver coach, Owen Trinkler, is one of the best out there, and he loves this racetrack here at VIR. So I'm sure between an excellent team behind him and an excellent driver coach, they were able to tweak and tune on that car. And I think I see Scalzo trying to move up some more positions on the back straightaway as well.
Looked like Greg Checky side by side as we ride on board with him now, coming down through Roller Coaster. And up ahead of him, I believe that is Bill Fennick, who we've got on our timing, so I don't think he's been put down another position quite yet. Here we go. Big train of cars. That's proper. He's the only Pro-Am in what is a sea of Masters drivers. Scalzo already up to 10th.
And of course, Scalzo, that driver we're talking about, is in that orange and blue car, 3rd in line as we all jump on the brakes here in turn number 1. You see the accordion effect. Everybody just kind of compressed together here at this minimum rolling speed. Pretty impressive apex speed from Pelichewski back there in the 62 Nerds machine. Actually closed it in on Scalzo just a touch.
I feel like Pelichewski is another one that's slightly out of position. Remember, we saw him up towards the front yesterday, and maybe he can use Scalzo to help push his way up through the field as an out exit towards the snake. And like I said, proper not fighting them for points paying position, but he is preventing Elaine from taking another spot within his class, separating him from Checky.
Watch these cars ride up through the uphill S's here. Like I said, this is my favorite part of this racetrack. You're just pretty much wide open throttle, if just breathing the throttle a little bit to set the nose. And then turn number 10, a completely blind exit as you see the elevation dip away from you. It is a very challenging piece of racetrack, and that feeds into Oak Tree right here, which is a double apex, call it decreasing radius right-hander. So goes from extremely fast to extremely technical. And
that angle, looking along Madison Avenue, tells an interesting story because our top four, I mean, they've booked it. Everyone from fifth on back is still nose to tail practically in this field. It's just the top runners that have just scooted away from everybody. But if you make a mistake here farther down, you're going to find someone quickly trying to take advantage of it.
And we'll have to wait a few more laps as Scalzo kind of made the lunge, and then Proper was able to roll through, call it 17 a little bit. They both exit the corner, so I don't think that he's going to be close enough to make a lunge down here into turn number 1. But kind of to my point, our 3 leaders are all in the 54s. And Anna Checki was actually closing that gap to Lonnie Unser, but Lonnie responded this lap. So it's kind of a seesaw battle between second and third, but this mid-pack fight is definitely the thick of it.
Heading once again towards NASCAR Bend. Different lines between everybody. Everyone's got their own approach through this unique set of corners. Then leads up towards the slow left hook. Everybody trying to get right down to the apex, but it is Scalzo who gets there first, and he mugs Proper. And it looks like my theory about Pelichowski using him as a way through the crowd came to fruition. He'll get him too.
Absolutely. I was always told, if there's an aggressive driver in front of you, let him be the hammer. Let him knock everything out of the way, and then you just follow him through.
I always think of it as someone just holding your hand as you get through a crowded place, You're like, all right, well, this makes it a lot easier just following you. And coming up towards the next set, now they have to try and overtake Greg Checki. If he can hold them off, that'll be impressive because, like you said, Scalzo has a reputation for not taking no for an answer.
He is, I think, probably one of the more aggressive drivers that we've got here in this Cayman North America Series. So he's going to be on the move. He's got Greg Checki lined up. He's just kind of sitting in the slipstream right now. Once again, it's not going to be a move down here into turn number 14, but you see the performance advantage. He was able to close it in, call it that 1 car length on that initial pedal pressure, and then maintain that distance through the apex, through the rolling speed, and now comes the opportunity of the launch out onto the front straightaway.
Scalzo leading the championship, doesn't want to give up too many points here to his rivals. And Finnick is currently ahead of him, who is the one chasing. So that is not good news for him. He sits in 5th currently, and we know he had a very poor showing yesterday. So it's going to be imperative for him to try and stop the rot here and move his way forward. And speaking of which, we got someone sneaking through on Proper. That looks like that was Leco.
That was Dominique making another move on Spencer Proper, like you were saying. So unfortunately for that white number 30 car, he's lost about 3 positions in the span of about a lap and a half, maybe 2 laps. That can be difficult as a driver, seeing everybody drive by you, say, hey, am I off the line? Am I off the pace over here? But sometimes you just kind of need to hit that mental reset, regather your thoughts, and get back to it.
First weekend we've seen Dominique here in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Series, so glad to see him really getting his elbows out and getting in. That'll put him up into 11th overall and 7th in class with that move. Still, this train of cars has not separated despite a lot of changing of positions. Everybody seems to be relatively close on pace.
I'm going to echo your point from a couple laps ago as we watched this tremendous battle. Our top 3. Oh, there goes Dominique Leco spinning around. Does he stop it before the wall? Yes, he does. That's down in the Oak Tree corner. He grabs a gear, gets it back out onto the racetrack, but we've seen that moment a couple times loose through Oak Tree.
Anytime I've driven it in a sim, I've always found that to be an incredibly difficult corner. But my apologies to Dominique. That was commentator's curse really coming out and biting another driver, just as I was praising the performance we've seen. Meanwhile, back to this group once again. Wasting no time, Scalzo has rocked up to the back of Greg Checki and very aggressive on the brakes, down in a hog pen, but it's the exit that counts. What's it going to look like?
A nice exit from both of them, honestly. The lap prior, it was Scalzo that was suffering, but he was able to match Greg Checki this time. Unfortunately, about 3 car lengths back with how closely these drivers and cars are matched is just not a passing opportunity unless you're overly aggressive. Now, we talk about how aggressive Scalzo is. He is not overly aggressive. He is just assertive in his speed.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. And it's not too far up to his championship rival, Bill Finnick. Now, I say that they do still have a number of points between them. I think I don't have
here's a move from Scalzo down the inside. That was the same move he put on Spencer Proper. Forces Greg Checky off. Almost contact between these two cars. Somehow, Greg Checky saved that one.
And a great heads up by Bill Pelichewski there, because I could tell he wanted to sneak by, but he saw that car nearly slide in front of him, slammed on the brakes to avoid making it a worse accident, and unfortunately they both lost ground. I didn't see the full thing, so I don't know if maybe Scalzo did get too aggressive there, but it looked like it was pretty elbows out.
It was definitely elbows out, but if you remember, that was the exact same move he put on Spencer Proper, and I think that Spencer kind of gave up the fight, threw in the white towel pretty early. However, Greg Checky didn't, and that's kind of when we saw him drive it off the racetrack, but he was not left much room.
That's a good point. The way that you deal with the attack sometimes just as important as the attack. Meanwhile, Pelichewski doesn't want to let this slip by. He knows his meal ticket is running up the road, and he is going to sneak through coming into roller coaster. So Checky this time is the one to lose position after position.
I think that was a savvy move from Pelichewski, whether he knows it or not, because Greg Checky had a problem in turn 14 on that opening test day, made himself all the way into the wall over there. So if there's an area on this racetrack to attack this driver, this car, I would probably pick right there.
Now there's nobody between Scalzo and Finnick. I was just talking about that when it all erupted, that's really his goal here, is to make sure that he doesn't give ground to P2 in the championship. But P1 in the Pro-Am Championship, as we got a car off, and that is Tom Kopczynski. The driver who is sitting second in the race in Masters suddenly falls down multiple spots. This means Finnick is up into second. Scalzo is already on the podium.
Yeah, he was able to get by. That was, like you said, Kopczynski off on the side of the road. Call it turn number 5. It's a low grip area of the racetrack. We've seen a lot of drivers just struggle with the racing line over there. I'm not sure exactly what happened, if there was contact, but we've seen how loose some of these cars can get, and if you overstep that limit, you better have fast hands and good car control.
I have bad news for fans of Scalzo. He is being looked at for what happened between himself and Checky. Now, that doesn't mean that necessarily he will be penalized, but the stewards are giving it a look to make sure that everything was A-OK.
Just an impressive performance here from this number 12 car. It really did a great job yesterday. You know, he was not in the lead the entire race, right? He really kind of had to work his way up there, get by Anna Checky, but once he was in clean air, he was able to manage. He had a few little mistakes that kind of allowed them to keep him honest, but here he is out front managing this gap to Lonnie Unser. It's been about 1.5 seconds this entire race. And I was just about to ask you if you thought it was managing or if Lonnie's really pressuring him and forcing him to go quicker. Last lap was a 55.7, and actually Lonnie was a 54.9. So she is pushing at least a little bit quicker. Now, it sounds like we might have a replay of some of the earlier incidents, so we'll watch and see if we can get a second look at things and give our thoughts on that. And here is, so we're looking at what happened to Kopczynski, since we didn't really get to see. And that, is that turn 1? I thought there was turn 5 that it had happened, but you're right. It definitely looks like turn number 1 down there. Definitely is turn number 1, and this is the part that kind of makes me nervous right here. I know that there's a little bit of a gap, and he was able to kind of shoot through it, but that's always a tough one when you're the other competitor charging into the corner. You kind of, it's a little bit unnerving. Indeed. And I'm glad he's able to get it going once again. He is down, sitting 7th in class, so he lost a lot. It's going to be hard to try and make that back up, even though we do still have plenty of race left. As we come back to Unser now, and as I was just saying before we went to the replays, she did look quicker that last lap compared to Jens Hansen, and it was not by a small amount. In fact, I think it was 0.8 of a second quicker. It does show that. I look at kind of our overall performance window, though. So let's look at Jens Hansen's fastest lap. which is a 54.1. His last lap, let's see here, about a 55.7, so that's almost 2 seconds off. That tells me that there's definitely some pretty big margins that he's playing with, that if he can ramp it up, he should be able to.
Car 26 has been given incident responsibility. That is Scalzo. His podium is going to slip through his fingers, at least for now. That's going to be hard to make up. This pit lane is going to suck up a lot of time.
Well, and I know that Scalzo is probably going to be pretty frustrated on the radio with that one. And remember, he also got that drive-through penalty in qualifying, in the Cayman class qualifying earlier this weekend. So I think this weekend is probably one that he's going to look back on and say, you know what, yeah, a couple little changes and it could have gone completely the other way.
I can confirm that he is in pit lane serving that penalty immediately. So he is putting his hand up. He's not going to try and press the issue. He'll just serve it as soon as he can. And where does that put him? That helps out Kopczynski. Yeah, Tom has gotten by. Scalzo will return in 7th as Tom gets promoted up to 6th place. Very fluid Masters class in this race with positions constantly changing. It has been a rather static one up here, but that doesn't mean it has lacked excitement in the Pro-Ams. Like we said, it seems like Lonnie Unser is keeping Jens Hansen honest, who's using a lot of the track there, sliding out of Oak Tree.
He is using a lot of the track, but I think I saw more yaw angle out of Unser's car, if anything, so that might mean that she's using those rear tires a little bit more than Hansen to try to keep up with them. And I think the most dramatic difference that I've seen in today versus yesterday is Anna Czecki. I don't want to be too hard on her, but she had a ton of performance yesterday. She was leading the race, fighting for the win, and here she is 3 seconds off of that number 4 car down in 3rd.
Yeah, not really up close to it. She could try and make that up. And I guess to counter some of that, it is still within, about 4 or 5 seconds from 1st to 3rd. So the race is on. It's just she's not in a good attacking position at this stage. Lonnie Unser also continuing to try to close in and does so once again. This one only 0.2 quicker, but she is consistently closing up to our leader in Pro-Am.
I had mentioned Jens's lap time of a 55.7. His previous 2 were a 54.9 and a 55.0. You compare that to that number 4 car that's chasing him. 54.8 out of Lonnie Unser. So, yeah, Joe, to your point, she is starting to close it in. And I think that if Hansen has any pace to manage, I mean, you're at 15 minutes right now. You're already past halfway, roughly, right? I think you start to turn it up just a little bit.
Maybe those tires can take a little more abuse and he could go a bit quicker, but we don't know for sure. This could be Lonnie actually is faster at this stage of the race. We'll have to just keep watching. And maybe we can ask them once they get out of the cars here this afternoon, out of the Oak Tree corner and onto the back straight. Once again, both of them bounding over the bumps on that corner exit as they try to get the throttle down for Madison Avenue. Still showing about 1.4 seconds. She lost a little bit over the most recent sectors.
See about into the brake zone here. You see 160 miles an hour in 6th gear before she jumps on the brakes and really has a second strong brake pedal pressure. Is kind of that hog pen, or I should say roller coaster brake zone is a little bit tricky. It's not completely straight. And then this one is so fun. You drive the car into this corner. Could probably commit to the throttle and just drive your way through as that compression really catches the car and gives it extra grip.
This is the battle for P2 in Masters. Fenech versus Pelichowski. And again, I thought Pelichowski was out of position. He said, "You bet I am. I'm going for a 2nd place here." Fenech trying to make up for yesterday where a mysterious accident on the front straightaway took him out of the event. He'll still be on the podium even if he gets passed by Bill. But I have a feeling that Fenech is going to want to try and get a good result today because the car does look quick out there this morning, and he is maybe just a bit too far ahead of Pelichowski coming into turn 1, but this is a lot closer than we saw earlier in the race.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit of nudge there between Pelichowski and Fenech, just saying, "Hey, bud, I'm here." And in fact, that last lap time out of Pelichowski was about 0.6 faster than this car. He has been chasing down this blue and red number. Oh, that was a huge moment from Pelichewski. I'm not sure if you all caught that, but you saw the car just completely out of shape exiting NASCAR Bend, turn number 3. Thankfully, he was able to catch that slide.
Wow. I mean, he is on it today. I love what we're seeing out of Bill Pelichewski. Just not going to get anything, at least on the run up to the climbing S's. Will we see another go into Oak Tree maybe, or will he try to stay patient? This is all happening about 3.5 seconds behind Dan Ammon. So this is helping him. He just continues to plug away laps in the lead of the race. But if Bill manages to get by, I'm kind of curious, is he quicker?
I think so. And if he's able to get by, call it in the next lap, maybe 2 laps, it still leaves plenty of time for Pelichewski to go down there and cut that gap into what is our Cayman Masters class lead. So I think that Pelichewski may be a little bit aggressive in turn number 1, telling Bill, hey, I'm here with the bumper. I think he's going to be looking for a clean way around in a huge accident. I'm not sure which car this is, but they are heavy into the wall. The 59 of Tartaglione, I believe.
Yeah, and he just tried to move the car, so he's got power. Can't tell where it is yet, but
I believe this might be over turn 3 area.
He moved the camera with that. That must have been a heavy impact. Yeah, that does look like NASCAR Bend now that you say that. So we're getting confirmation that that is where it is. The car can move, but he's pausing for a second, so maybe, okay, he's taking his gloves off, so that is it for now, and that gives us our first full course yellow of the day for race 2 in the Caymans. Hansen doesn't want this. Ammon doesn't want this. But our viewers are going to absolutely love the fact that fast drivers have been stuck right next to one another if we get a restart.
100%. Look at our timing and scoring ticker. We have class battles, 1st through 4th, and then another class battle. Call it 5th through 8th, which is also 1st through 4th in that class. You really couldn't ask for more. Just hopefully Tartaglione seems to be okay. We were getting those shots from inside the race car. He was able to move it. He was able to kind of take his gloves off inside the race car there. So definitely moving around. Hopefully he's just fine, and VIR will get it fixed up quick.
Now, I found it interesting that the driver's side door was open when we came to that shot. I wasn't sure if maybe he tried to get out or if like the impact could maybe actually knock the door open. It was so powerful.
I doubt that the impact knocked the door off of the latch. Now, they do sit on pins on the front side of the doors. You got to remember that in the GT3 Cup cars and these Cayman cars with the carbon doors nowadays, they're very, very light and you can just kind of pick them up, right? But I doubt it would have knocked it off of the latch. Okay. That certainly seemed like something that would have been human activated.
Gotcha. So maybe he thought his day was over and somebody on the radio said, try and move it out. And he did initially, but maybe the car was just too damaged. Maybe something in the suspension wasn't good and wasn't worth trying to damage it further, carrying it back to the front stretch. Turn 3 definitely been a calamity corner all weekend long, unfortunately, as the drivers are definitely loading up a lot of body work there, unfortunately. And it sounds like we're getting a replay, hopefully, of that accident soon. Good to know that he's okay so that we have a chance to get another look at it. And I think we're loading that up here shortly. Yeah, so here it is, coming up into turn 3, and that looks like he touched that grass.
Oh, that's a heavy impact there. I wouldn't be too worried about the camera moving over because that's just how tight the mount is, and we don't know how tight the mount was actually secured on.
It still
but
felt...
it is a heavy impact. I mean, you can see the data is stuck at 45 miles an hour on that GPS speed. So he smacked the wall with the right side. You see down there the safety vehicles are already down, making sure that he's okay and fixing the wall. We saw a very, very similar incident yesterday in that GT3 Cup race.
Yeah, exactly. Hutter had a big accident there. I kind of wish I had watched the they do have a G-force meter, I believe, on those onboard cameras. So I kind of thought after the fact I should have watched to see how many Gs he did experience in that brief moment. Track service workers obviously all gathering the car up. We'll get one more look at it, so I'll try and pay attention this time to this incident. We'll have time definitely to review this, since it looks like they got a little bit before they can get that car off course. Did the tires... Well, those are tires that are obviously...
So he made it a little bit further around turn number 3 than what we typically see.
Yeah.
Typically, we see a car lose the rear going into turn number 3, and it just kind of slides straight towards what is the concession stand over here. But Tartaglione actually didn't lose control of the car. He just kind of drove it off to the right side. So he actually kind of continued that left-hand turn. So let's see, went off the track at about 75 miles an hour, and the side impact at 46 miles an hour. So, yeah, that was a pretty big side impact.
Was, absolutely. And credit to the track workers. They already have the loader out there to try and nudge these back into position. Even got a little tractor there, it looks like, to help out with the efforts. So hopefully this should be relatively quick fix. Unfortunately, we do have 7 minutes plus a lap, so they're going to have to be fast to get us going for what is probably going to be a very short sprint if we restart.
I think the one good thing here, though, is that these tire bundles are not actually attached to the wall. You see, they're the first row. So I have a feeling that as long as they are still intact, they should simply be able to push them into place. You see where the car kind of made that huge dent into that tire bundle. But as long as they get it pushed back into place and those bundles are okay, things shouldn't be taken. I wouldn't imagine too long. This VIR track crew, as well as all the tracks that we go to, they do just such a tremendous job to make sure that everybody gets back racing as soon as possible.
Yep, everybody goes to work quickly, knowing that time is of the essence here. And we all want to see racing more than just pacing. But for now, we got to try and play safety and stay behind the safety car. Hansen being caught up by Unser. And we often talk about, the leader needing to do such and such to hold on to the lead, what he needs to do on these restarts. What about Unser? What can she do in this situation to use this to her advantage?
Think about it, right? This is the time that you can be mentally strategic. You're not out there on the racetrack at 10/10 trying to extract your perfect lap time. Under yellow flag here, you have time to think about it. Say, okay, well, have I noticed any mistakes out of Hansen? Yesterday, we definitely saw mistakes, probably in the uphill S's, maybe over in Sector 2, that he lost chunks of time, several different laps. So maybe he's fixed that today, and maybe the weak area is somewhere else. But I think that if I am Unser, I'm trying to mentally strategize where my performance is better than Jens Hansen, and somehow get close enough in that area of the racetrack to pressure him and make a move.
So we were wondering earlier about Pelichewski. Could he get by Finnick and chase down Ammon? Well, this cuts down some of that gap if he can overtake. First, he's got to get by Bill Finnick. Meanwhile, looking at Ammon, our leader, ahead of them, he knows that those in front of him, he's not racing. But he won't want to be held up on this restart. He'll want to try and get going as quickly as possible. We were watching from Erica Hoffman for a brief moment as well, and she also probably appreciates this pause in the racing because she had fallen back to somewhere around 10 or 11 seconds behind Anna Checki. So that erases that for her, gives her a chance to reset, hopefully be able to keep up in the final few minutes while we look at Spencer Proper, sitting 5th in class right now, 9th overall. And to his credit, he lost a couple positions there early on, but Tom Kopczynski made a mistake. Scalzo had his penalty. Sometimes it's just keeping it on the black stuff.
It's just keep on swimming sometimes, as Dory likes to say. But we've been mentioning these drivers that it's really helped out, right? It's helped out Lonnie Unser in the fact that she's now going to be restarting on the back of Hansen. It's helped out Anna Checki that she's erased that 4-second gap. It's helped out Erica Hoffman that 10-second gap has now been erased. Scalzo. Remember, Scalzo had the penalty, and he'll be able to get back out there, and he's going to be packed up.
So we've got a replay of something that happened to Proper, it sounds like. So did he have maybe an off or something? Let's see if we can figure out what was going on.
And remember, Spencer had that incident with, I believe it was Scalzo going by earlier.
Well, it was. Well, I thought it was Checky that Scalzo.
Both. If we remember, it was both of them. Oh, there's Dominique Lecoq.
Oh, he was the one behind Dominique when he spun at Oak Tree. So he got a front row seat to that, as I think it looks like the pace car is heading in, and we are getting ready to go racing. Lights are, in fact, out. We are going back racing, and it is going to be a short sprint, maybe 2 or 3 laps as Anna Checky gets right onto the bumper of Lonnie Unser, not wanting to leave any gap. It's an early go from Jens Hansen. He's on the throttle as we go racing once again here at VIR. This is your last chance for a good result this weekend.
The time is running out. If you gotta move, you better pull it out of your pocket right now. Hansen nice and deep on the brakes into turn number 1. You see the whole field accordion up. I think that's a move to the inside of Greg Checky a little bit further back, but 1, 2, 3 stays the same.
I think that may have been Spencer Proper trying to get that move as we focus on the top 3. Lonnie Unser right up there, not letting Jens Hansen have any breath of relax up at the front of this field, trying to make sure that he has to sweat this one out all the way to the finish.
Riding on board with this blue and white number 27 of Anna Checky as we accelerate towards the uphill S's. She did not get the best of exit in that, call it the snake section, and so you see Unser starting to run away, and now we hop on board with her father, Greg Checky, who's directly behind. I believe that was Pelichewski making his way through.
Greg has not had a podium since race 2 at Sonoma. This could be a great result for him. That was his home track back there at Sonoma. So he's a little far from home here on the opposite coast, but he's trying to make the best of it as we come onto the back straight once again. He's still experiencing pressure from Spencer Proper behind him. In fact, he's lost touch with Bill Pelichewski, and now he's under the gun.
I think this is a great opportunity for Proper here. He's already moving out drivers left, so a little bit of a defensive maneuver from the yellow and white car of Greg Checky. I had mentioned he had problems on the test day in this section, but Spencer not far enough up alongside to make the move going down into this brake zone. Let's see about through roller coaster. If anything, the entire field, I believe that's Joe Rizzo back there as well, starting to catch up.
Nice defense from Greg. We'll get, I think, 2 laps to go here. We got about 20 seconds left. Yep, there go the leaders now in front of us. Meanwhile, Kopczynski making up for his off a little bit earlier. He's already on the back of Proper.
And I think I see a move for 3rd place overall. I think Anna Checky has actually lost it to Erica Hoffman. They were side by side down the front straightaway here, and here they are exiting turn number 1. So Anna Checky has regained what is 3rd place, but Erica Hoffman had an attack.
I love to see that from Erica, not just sitting back, but actually on the aggression here at the end of the race, trying to make up positions when she's got an opportunity in her hands. And if they battle too much, though, we have to remember that is our leader in the Masters behind them, Dan Ammon. He does not want to be held up here, so he's likely to get involved if he gets caught up behind them.
And this is a fight for the podium, right? Anna is currently in 3rd place, Erica 4th place, so she's trying to spray some champagne a little bit later today as Lonnie Unser and Jens Hansen round through turn number 10, head down into Oak Tree. We've seen this be a problem area for several drivers already this weekend, but our top 2 seem to navigate it perfectly. Jens using a little bit more track on exit.
This rivalry has been going on all season long. Unser versus Hansen, and she hasn't been able to best him on track quite yet. So she's probably going to be very eager if she can get within striking distance. 3/4 of a second back. No, make that half a second back. Gained a little bit. Oh, and Greg Checky once again, we see side by side as Proper. Looks like he is going to get it this time. He is ahead, and there he is. He shuts the door.
Nice move from Spencer there, making up some of these positions that he was kind of muscled out of a little bit earlier. But we're going to be getting the white flag, and this is as close as our front 2 leaders have been.
1 more lap to go. What's the distance when they cross the line? And it updates. Still half a second between Lonnie and Jens, but they pulled away from Anna Checky. It is these 2 alone trying to decide the victory now.
She drove it in really deep into turn number 1, kind of went out a little bit wide, but just the natural curve of VIR here at turn number 1, you can kind of get away with driving the car in too deep. She's really close here on the exit of NASCAR 3. Oh, a little bit defensive. That's the first time we've seen that out of Hansen right in the middle of the track.
He's not feeling safe. The pressure is on inside the cockpit. And we've seen him deal with it before, but we haven't seen as many mistakes in the past as we have this weekend out of our current championship leader. He pulls away. Great response from Hansen out of the snake to try and distance himself.
Think that there's 2 big zones left. I'm looking towards Oak Tree. Of course, you got to make it through turn number 10 here. This incredibly fast left-hander. They both keep it on the racetrack. We've seen some cars get out of shape right here. You got to manage this Oak Tree corner and then get the launch out. Lonnie Unser even closer, down to about 2 car lengths.
Is it going to be enough? They're on Madison Avenue now. She's going to get the slipstream, but if she can't get close enough by the end, that might be it for the race. Jens Hansen definitely looking a little too far away as they approach the braking zone. Up into roller coaster. All he has to do from here is hit his marks.
That's easier said than done. This is one of the most difficult corners here at VIR, and I'm talking about Hogpen. You got to drive it into the racetrack to get the exit out of it. What does Lonnie Unser have for Jens Hansen? He hits the apex perfectly and accelerates through the corner.
No mistakes this time from Jens Hansen. Another back-to-back win, set of victories. This time at VIR for Jens Hansen. Unser takes second, and Anna Checki is going to get herself third. Meanwhile, on the main straight, Dan Ammon, your winner. He also goes back-to-back this weekend.
Oh, what a performance from that number 91 car. Like you said, back-to-back Cayman Masters win. Bill Fennick also standing on the podium, as well as that number 62 car of Pelichowski.
Wow, and yeah, Pelichowski's performance today was something else. Like I said, he started well down the order, fought his way forward, survived others' mistakes, didn't quite get up to second with Fennick, but this is going to be a well-earned bit of celebration for him. Let's go through our finishing results as unofficially. We've got Jens Hansen, your winner, Lonnie Unser second, and Anna Checki third. Erica Hoffman was P4. That's Pro-Ams. Then we get to the Masters with Dan Ammon, your victor in that class. Bill Fennick was P2, and Bill Pelichowski was P3. Spencer Proper, nice recovery today. He finished 8th overall. Tom Kopczynski, a little bit backwards for him, unfortunately, finishing 9th. Greg Checki with 10th, followed by Joe Rizzo in P11. Elaine Scalzo is going to be kicking himself for this weekend, only 12th today. Leco was 13th, Petkus 14th, Tartaglione, our only DNF of the day. Podium celebrations coming your way in just a moment. Don't go away.
Experience the ultimate thrill, Porsche GT Track Day, where passion meets performance on some of North America's most legendary racetracks. Designed exclusively for Porsche owners, this is your chance to unleash the full potential of your vehicle in a motorsport environment. Drive the same circuits as professional racers, on the same weekend as Porsche Sprint Challenge events. Where will your Porsche take you? With limited space, every Porsche GT Track Day ensures a premium, exclusive experience. You'll get nearly 3 hours of track time, starting with reconnaissance laps, progressing through lead-follow sessions, and culminating in exhilarating open laps. Plus, strap in for heart-pounding hot laps with a professional race driver.
I thought I was fast. Didn't resemble anything that I've ever done.
Beyond the track, immerse yourself in VIP hospitality, premium viewing areas, and exclusive paddock access where you can witness Porsche Sprint Challenge teams in action. Spots are limited. Scan the QR code now to reserve your place at Porsche GT Track Day.
It's hard to contain your excitement when you get something you've really wanted. Like the gold standard in automotive protection, WeatherTech floor liners. With deep sculpted channels and laser measured for total protection in the front, back, and even up the sides.
Dad, you're going viral.
What? WeatherTech me.
So don't be shy, enjoy. Order your premium American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing that.
Time for our podium ceremonies here in Porsche Sprint Challenge North America Cayman. Race 2 today starts us off with the Masters. In third place, it's going to be the number 62 of Bill Pelichewski. Second today goes to the number 15. A great rebound for Bill Finnick. And back-to-back on the weekend for our winner, it's the 91, Dan Ammon.
All right, well, Bill, we're going to start with you over here. You had an aggressive race. You were in a lot of battles today.
Yeah, it was a pretty poor start for me, so I dropped like 4 places, and I was able to kind of battle back and get it back. So it was a fun day, but it was a bit of work, but it was fun. And again, I want to thank Kelly Moss, Andrew Davis, coach. But it was fun, and I really applaud my competitors. Clean racing, and no one was did anything out of sorts. It was really great. Good time.
Great job on the podium. That's Bill Pelichewski, and then we come over to our second place driver, Bill Fennick. This is a little bit of redemption compared to yesterday.
Woo, baby, you're not shitting. Yeah, that was yesterday was we don't want to do that again. Yeah, no, fun race, awesome. Like Bill said, great fun race, competitive but fun. Happy, needed this. Yeah, it's a good race. Thanks.
Great job, Bill Fennick. Second place, and then let's stand up here. The repeat winner of the weekend, Dan Ammon. You got to be happy.
Yeah, just ecstatic. What an awesome way to finish up the weekend on the Cayman. Still got the Cup car to go, of course. But no, great racing with everybody here. I was feeling pretty good out there until the full course yellow came, and then I see Bill Fennick and Bill Pelichewski in my rear view, and that's a pretty scary sight on a restart. So I'm glad I was able to keep them behind, and great racing. Thanks to everybody, Vintage Racing Company, USAC, PMNA. Just awesome weekend. Thank you.
You said it was scary to see him in your rearview mirror, but it seemed like you were able to manage the pressure. I think you led by about a second and a half, 2 seconds at the end there.
Yeah, I was hoping they were going to start dicing with each other and then leave me alone. So, but anyway, great race all around. Thanks to everybody.
Congratulations on the win. Your Cayman Masters podium.
Let's get a little hat dance now. Now, since you guys are so eager, now you can spray the champagne. Congratulations. That's our Cayman Masters podium. Fantastic race today here for race number 2. That now takes us to the Good Boy Vodka Fastest Lap Award. Appropriately today, it goes to the number 12 of Jens Hansen. Congratulations to Jens. That's the Good Boy Vodka Fastest Lap Award. Now for the Cayman Pro-Am. Finishing third today, it's the number 27 of Anna Checki. Finishing P2 today, 1 position up from yesterday, it's the number 4 of Lonnie Unser. And the pressure was on at the end for our victor. Today, it's the number 12 of Jens Hansen.
I'm someone new, baby, but you know I never will. choke you down just like a pill.
Well, Anna, we're going to start over here with you. You've had a tremendous weekend. You got your first pole position, 2 podiums. Are you happy?
Yeah, how couldn't I be, right? It was a great race, and Erica was super fast, so it was fun to have a challenge, try and move up a little bit. But yeah, it was just a great race, great weekend. The team made a great car, so it was a lot of fun.
Great job. Give it up for our third place finisher, Anna Checki. Now, Lonnie Unser, one step higher. It certainly seemed like as the race went on, your car got faster and faster and faster. It certainly seemed like you had something for him at the end.
Yeah, I always feel pretty good on old tires, so I was confident at the end there. My team, as always, gave me a phenomenal car, so it just felt like it got better throughout the race. So super thankful to Kelly Moss, Speedway Motors, Mobil 1, Yokohama Tire, and Acumatica.
Great job. Second place, Lonnie Unser. And then, of course, back-to-back wins here in the Caymans. It's got to feel good, bud.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I think I got a little lucky with the full course yellow because Lonnie was catching me. Might have pushed the tires a little too hard too early. And, I got to give it to Lonnie for managing those tires later on in the race. She's just a terrific driver. And a shout-out to Speed Sport Tuning for putting together such a great car this week.
What held you on there at the end there?
My crew chief. Just telling me to stay focused, don't make mistakes, and, look forward and not in the mirror.
Great job on back-to-back wins. Give it up for your Cayman Pro-Am podium.
Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for
Now it's time for your favorite part. It's time to spray the champagne!
Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that.
That's our Cayman Pro-Am podium. More action coming up later today as the GT3 Cup Series will be coming up later this morning.
We gon' live it up, young shot caller. Always been a baller. Know that you the one. I can feel it in my heart. Yeah, I won't stop charging. We going come harder. I can see you and I way beyond the stars, girl.